My wife left me. She was 72 years old. We had been married for 41 years, and she packed a bag, sat down across from me at the kitchen table, and told me she was done. I'm 88 now. That was 16 years ago, and I have spent 16 years coming to understand the thing I could not hear that day sitting at that table. She was right. Not mostly right, not right in some ways. Right. Completely, entirely right. And what I want to tell you today is not a story about a marriage that ended. It's a story about a man who made the same mistakes for 41 years and couldn't see a single one of them until the woman he loved walked out the door. If you are in a relationship right now, any relationship, I need you to stay with me, because what I got wrong, most people get wrong. And most people only find out the way I found out. The hard way. Section 1. The marriage. I want to tell you what our marriage looked like, from the outside. From the outside, it looked fine. We never screamed at each other. We never threw things. We stayed together. We raised 3 children. We went to church on Sundays. We showed up at family dinners. People admired us. People pointed to us as an example of a solid marriage. We were the kind of couple that looked like a marriage from a distance. Up close, it was a performance we had both been running for so long, we had forgotten we were performing. Her name was Eleanor. I called her Ellie. She was the most capable person I have ever known. She ran the household, raised the children, worked part-time, managed every detail of our shared life. And she did all of it with a competence and a grace that I mistook for 4 decades for contentment. I thought, she's fine, she's capable, she's handling it. What I never asked, not once in 41 years, was whether handling it was the same as being happy. It isn't. I know that now. Section 2. The 5 things I got wrong. Chapter 1. I confused providing with loving. I was a good provider. I worked hard. I brought home the money. I made sure the bills were paid, the house was maintained, the children's tuition was covered. And for most of my adult life, I believed that this was love, that providing was the same thing as loving. I had confused the container with the contents. I kept the house standing. I never learned to be present inside it. Ellie didn't need another provider. She needed a partner. Someone who asked how she was feeling and actually waited for the real answer. Someone who noticed when she was tired. Someone who initiated. I didn't do those things, not because I didn't love her, because I thought the mortgage payment was the love. It wasn't. Chapter 2. I listened to respond, not to understand. Ellie told me things. For 41 years, she told me things. She told me she was lonely. She told me she needed more. She told me something was missing, and I heard her. But what I did with the words was find a solution. I treated her feelings like problems to be solved. What she needed was not a solution. She needed me to sit with her, to say, "Tell me more about that. I want to understand." I never learned how to do that. I thought being a good listener meant having good answers. Chapter 3. I stopped growing. You are not the same person at 65 that you were at 31. Neither is your partner. And if you're not careful, you wake up one day and realize you married one person and you're living with someone entirely different. I married Ellie at 31. I never introduced myself to who she became later. I kept relating to the woman I married. She had long since become someone else. She grew. I stayed the same. And I missed the whole thing. Chapter 4. She was the invisible architecture. Ellie was the reason everything worked. She was the structure that held everything up. And I walked through that structure every day without once saying thank you. I took the most important person in my life for granted so completely that it stopped feeling like ingratitude. It just felt normal, like she would always be there. The ground left, and I felt it then. Chapter 5. I was afraid of depth. This is the hardest one to say. I was afraid of emotional depth. I didn't know it at the time. I just avoided real conversations. I called it strength. I called it stability. But I was protecting myself from being fully known, because being fully known means you can be fully lost. Ellie wanted depth. I gave her surface. And after 41 years, she chose to leave. I don't blame her. Section 3. The day she left. It was an ordinary morning. Coffee was made, the newspaper was on the table. She was already sitting there. She said, "I need you to hear this. Really hear it." She said, "I have been lonely in this marriage for 20 years. I have told you in every way I know how. And I love you. I always will. But I cannot spend the rest of my life feeling invisible. I deserve more." I didn't say anything, because I knew she was right. For the first time in 41 years, I just listened. She had been telling me for 20 years. The problem was never that she hadn't communicated. The problem was that I had never been listening in a way that required me to change. She moved out that afternoon. I heard she was happy. I was glad, even though it hurt. Section 4. What the years after taught me. In the 16 years since she left, I have done more reflection than in the 72 years before. And here is what I know now. Love is not a feeling. It is a practice. Every day, in small moments. I treated love like something I had achieved. It is something you do. The relationship didn't end in one day. It ended slowly. Second, you need to know yourself. I didn't. I didn't know my fears. I didn't know why I closed off. And if you don't know that, you will keep repeating it. Third, the bravest thing in a relationship is to be fully seen. Not the strong version, not the capable version, the real version. I never gave her that. That is what I regret most. Section 5. What I want to tell you. I want to speak to someone who is feeling uncomfortable listening to this. That feeling matters. If someone in your life has been trying to tell you something, listen. Don't listen to respond. Don't listen to fix. Listen to understand. Ask them, "What have you been trying to tell me?" And stay when the answer comes. The conversation you are avoiding might save everything. I would give anything to sit back at that table and just listen. You still have that table. I don't. Ellie passed away 4 years ago. She died happy, surrounded by people who knew her fully. I am glad she had those years. I just wish I had been the one she could have had them with. That's everything. Is there someone in your life who has been telling you something you haven't been ready to hear? What would happen if you listened today?